Hey everybody, how you doing? Okay, so today what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our skull head kind of antiqued and textured. And what we're gonna do is just take a little bit of black, put it on your mat or your whatever surface that you're working on. Take a paintbrush. You want it to be watery and just water it down. And don't worry about it. You want it kind of to be, like you can see, it's like kind of an inky consistency. So you want it on your brush, and we're just going to go over this, get in them eyes real good. And we'll do the, you're going to get your hands a little dirty. We'll do the back after, but let's get the front going. And just throw the paint all over it like I did. Go over it again. And kind of push. Take your brush and push it in those cracks. Okay. We'll just set that there. We'll wipe off our hands. We're going to give it a second to dry. In the meantime, I want you to, let me get a little organized here. Pipe cleaners. Everybody knows what pipe cleaners are. They're also called like flower stems or whatever. Because we're going to make a doll out of this. So grab your pipe cleaners, or these are a different kind. I got in a swap or something. They have like metal in them. If you don't have pipe cleaners, do you have, if you have any metal that you use to make jewelry, like wire, if you don't have that, you can use, this came off of some sort of packaging, but you can use a, what are these called? You know, the wire things that you wrap around to bread and all that kind of thing, the twist ties. You can use twist ties. Or if you don't have that, you can use a dowel. This is a dowel, and this is way too big, but they come in smaller sizes. And if you don't have that, you can use a trusty old plain pencil. These are very inexpensive, and everybody has them. Just know that when you do your head, before you bake it, that you use this as your, that it'll go into the hole. Like, you know what I mean? So you'll make your hole with this. So when you're done baking it, it'll fit in the hole. Okay? There's other ways we can do it. Like I said, wire is a big thing. You can use sticks from the yard. And once you see me do what I do, then how to put this together, then you'll know that if you went and got sticks from the yard, that you can do it, because that's just kind of our base. So now, while we're waiting, this dries a little bit, let's just tap off. And it's okay, you're going to see the eyes puddle. And that's okay, because you want that black in there. And you can see, let me lift this up. It's still not dry, but you can see the cracks. See how cool it looks? If it focuses. Are we going to focus? Are we going to focus? There we go. See how cool the cracks look? And can you see the fluid, the liquid still in there from the paint? That's completely fine. Because you want that. Now, if you have a heat gun or a hair dryer, either one works completely fine. Hit it. And it's okay if some of your liquid comes out of the eyes, because we're going to paint that last, and the liquid will come out. It'll just absorb into the clay. But it doesn't really matter. Because we're more worried right now with the outside to make sure we get what we're looking for. And you see, all that is watered down black black paint. So let's go over it one more time. And you can just dab on, you know where you want it. You can even put your brush in the eyes to take out some of that liquid and out of the nose. Because we'll go back in there with straight black paint. And just dab. You want to push it in them cracks. And again, go around the sides. It's drying beautifully, so just go around. It's not fun unless you get a little paint on your hands. And then you can even turn it on the back and just give it a swipe. You know, but once you set it down, it's going to kind of probably run off a little bit. So let's just push that in the cracks with your brush. Whatever kind of brush you're using. I just picked up whatever brush is there. So make sure that when you do this, you put your cracks and everything in before you bake it, because this is where you're going to get that detail of the cracks. So I'm just going to leave it sit here for another second. And then I'll dry it again and then wipe it. I'm just giving it a little dry, nothing too much. And then taking my paper towel, I'm just giving it a wipe. And you can see. And if you find it's a little bit too dark, that you might want it a little bit lighter, wet your paper towel just a little bit and go where you think it's too dark and just wipe it. And you'll see it'll come right out. I like the different, because it just looks spookier to me when it's darker. Especially when you go over the cracked areas rather. Now, you see what we did. If you look at it and you say, you know what, I want my cracks a little bit darker. No, I'm happy with this. Can you see how cool that looks? And I'm going to put probably black paint, just plain black paint inside. Why will it not clear up? There we go. And you can see the back. Maybe I'll dry it real quick with my heat gun real quick so I can get the back dry. Now I haven't decided if I'm going to put hair on him or not, like crazy gray hair, or just leave him have. Don't hold it too close to your hand because it burns. It burns. Then I'll just take the rest of my paint here and just go over the back one more time. And again, if you want to go in them cracks, I'm pretty happy with the teeth. Oh, what I was saying was, if when you're done here, you can, and your cracks aren't filled in all the way, get a black Sharpie. Black Sharpie or a black permanent marker or whatever. And I'm going to leave that there for 1 second and then wipe it again. Staying away as much as I can from the cracks and just very lightly dabbing it because I want them cracks to kind of show through with the black in them. But sometimes it comes up. But like I said, if you want to darken it when you're done, then that's what I would do, is just take the black marker, and maybe I'll do that, we'll see. Okay, so with that done, and that's all it is. It's just a matter of watering down your black paint. Then I'm just getting this up because this will end up all over me. Okay, now you can take a little bit, because this is going to set aside now. So let's take a new paper towel. 1 second. I'm going to take a paintbrush, smaller size paintbrush. Get into your black, just into your regular black paint. You know, it's not watered down, and go in them eyes and paint them black. Now we might do another, we probably will do another coat of this. But for now, while we're letting everything else dry, the great thing with this and the polymer clay is that once it's dry, like the paint, because we know the clay is dry, obviously we, can you see how we're painting them? We're going to paint his nose too. I wish it would clear up. Yeah. The good thing is that we can go back in and sand. So we get more of the top coat off where the black will go through. But I can see here I have a little bit of, and I'll just go straight in with my black into my cracks if I want them a little bit, especially like the mouth and the teeth. And then I'll just wipe lightly off. Now I'm not watering this. I'm leaving these parts straight up dark because I'm going to wipe off. And I'm just like pushing in, you know, because you want the variation. And like I said, you want them eyes. And we're probably going to do a couple of them, the eyes and the nose, couple coats of that. So then I'm just going to take my, well, I'll leave that sit for 1 minute just so it kind of gets in there. I'm so excited to make this doll. And then I'm just going to lightly wipe because we want it to stay in the cracks and in the nose and in the teeth. But you see, if you lightly wipe, and the fun part, like I said, when this is all dry and we look at it, we're like, oh, you know what? Maybe we'll take a little sandpaper and just do a light over it so it gives light sanding over it so it gives it a little bit more of a dimension, you know, of more of the white coming through. Or we can do a whitewash on it. So there's so many different things to do. But this is the first step regardless. And you can always push a little harder if you want, you know, it to be lighter somewhere. I want them cracks to be dark. I might do a light gray over this, or maybe a beige. Who knows? But I am going to have to lighten it up. But I want those black. I want the black nose and eyes and cracks to be. Now you see I'm pushing hard getting that off, and you can see it's coming through, which is what you want. You want that like antiqued look. And this is just a paper towel. So go between your cracks on top of your lip there, on your chin. And you can see, I'll get it there for you in a second. I'm going to go over here. This is where you're really going to see what I'm talking about. Where you can still see the black. See the black in it? Where the cracks are? That's what you want it to look like. So I see that the forehead's kind of dark. So I'm going over with my paper towel, and it's dry. And if it's starting to wear through like mine is with my finger and you're not doing much anymore, kind of just fold it over, stick your finger there, and just wipe. It's almost like you're sandpapering it, but you're using your finger. Because we can go back with details later. And it's keeping that black in there, which I'm really loving. And I want this piece over here is bothering me. Now you can put a little bit more water on it if you want to lift up some of the black if you want. I don't know if it's gonna. Yeah, it works. You just don't want to take it out of all the creases that we just put it in, all the cracks. Now look how cool that's coming up. Now right here around the nose, I see it's a little bit darker than I want it. So I'm just going to do that because we don't want it to be all black. We want more of the details to be black. The cracks, the eyes, the nose, the teeth. Up here I see it's a little blacker than I want it. And this is how you antique things too. Whether you use gold paint or black paint. And then you can go around the sides just very easily on top of his head because you want that showing through. You just want it to be aged. And you can also, if you want, you can just keep it all black or you can keep it all white. I like having the contrast of it to show like it's old. And that's what I said. If you know, you want to use a little nail file or a little sandpaper, whatever, you could do that too. You don't need to. And you can see the back, a little rub here and there. We'll just give it that aged look, little circle action. Looks like sooty. Now look how cool that looks. Now, I'm going to set this aside for a second. Once I show you how we're going to start the body. But what I'm going to do, and I see like, if you can see that nose, you can't really see the form, but right under it, it looks like I need a little bit of that off. So you can see. Yeah. Look how much better that looks. Look how creepy it's looking already. Look at that. Awesome. And I'm sure if you're doing this alone with me, you're going to think yours is awesome too. And remember, here's our hole. So, okay, so here's what I say. Like I said, if you have a regular pencil, which are very inexpensive, when you go to make this, you know how we stuck this in for the hole? You can use a hole. I mean, you can use a pencil to make your base. I use, and I don't see any here. Huh. I know I have a set in my purse. Let's say we have a straw. Well, this is going to be too big for this. You could use a straw. Any kind of straw you have. If you eat sushi and you have sushi sticks, which that's what I usually use. I don't have any here. I think I might have used them all. I love me some sushi. If you have, let's see, knocking stuff off the table, of course. Trying to find the other thing, but I don't have it. Okay, so if you have wire, like I said, regular wire, you can use pipe cleaners, those kind of things. If you don't have anything, don't despair. What we're trying to do is build a body. And if you want if you want to make a person, like a figure out of this, you want to have some sort of stability to use. So you can take, this is cheap aluminum foil that I bought at the dollar store. When I tell you it's cheap, I'm not lying. But what we'll do is, I'll show you what, if you don't have anything, kind of roll it. You kind of want to like roll it. A little bigger than, you know, because you're going to have to make the hole. And squeeze the top like this. And then you want to get it to the size, stick it in that hole. Okay, so you can see that's how big it needs to be, how small. So we got to get this part down here. And it's just a matter of pressing it, because you want to get it in that hole as deep as you can. Now, I might not have made my hole as deep, but that's what you'll do first. You'll stick it in there, but once you get it in there and you form it and you know that it's in there, you know that that's what you're going to do. You're going to take it out. You're going to put in here, you can use white school glue, or if you have tacky glue, or you have a super glue, you know, something to that effect. But like I said, if you just have your white school glue, stick your white school glue in there and then stick your foil in there. Okay? And then leave it dry overnight. Then when you come back, what you'll do is you'll have your, because this is essentially going to be your body. So then what we'll do, this is the one way you can do it. So you don't have to worry that you don't have, you know, but see how you want to make sure it's really glued in there good. And then what we'll do is we'll make its body. And then what you'll do is you'll go down and you'll crunch it up. Okay, we want to decide how big we want it. And like, let's say I want his body to be that long. And then we would do his arms. So then we'd take the rest of it and we'd wrap it around here. Because what we're doing is making the, you know, and you would make us a little thinner. You know, you'd be a little bit neater at it than I am right now. But it's really not a necessity because we're going to cover it in clay. So then you would have that. And you would have generally his arms. You know, you play with it. Okay, so we have his arms. This is glued in. That's why it's not. And then you would do the same thing. You would take another piece of foil, roll it this length, and then we'd put it down here as his legs. So there'd be a little overhang here. So we did this for the arms. Now let's pretend. Remember, yours would be glued in. It won't be keep coming out like that. Then when we go to do the feet, the legs and all, you would do the same thing. You'd wrap it around. You want it pretty low. Wrap it around. Wrap it around again. I'm going to take it off because it's easier because it's not glued in. And then you would make his feet come down this way. So let me see if that makes sense to you when I stick this back in. So you see how you would have his legs down here. And you'd squish this tighter, you know, and they'd be down a little further. And then you'd have this same thing up here for his arms. Then we'd go and we'd fill in with clay. That's if you don't have pipe cleaners or wire or whatever. Now, what I'm going to do is take these pipe cleaners and I'm going to double it up because they're very furry. And I'm going to twist them. And I'm going to have to use glue. Let me see. Let me find my glue. Okay. I have the worst time getting my glue out. Just come on, glue. Yeah, it's like, yeah, Kel, I'm not working for you today. But I'm going to take my glue. And I'm going to have to get a different glue because that isn't working. I'm going to stick a little glue in here. Glue takes forever to come down. There we go. Just put a little bit in that hole. And then stick whatever you're going to use in there. Whether you're using foil or whatever. And I'm just using these because I have these extra. And they are wire underneath. So that's all that's for. And then I'm going to let that dry. This is going to be my neck part. So let me see if I can get some of this foil back apart. Because I hate wasting. looking good though. I love the face so far. Come on, little foil. Unravel. I hate when you find a piece, you're like, I think I got it, and then it rips off. It's like, nope, nope, it don't. Then there's times you wonder, why do I sit and try to unravel foil? I'm not going to sit and try to unravel that. I'm just going to get me another piece. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get a piece of foil and cut it. Okay, and it's just a small, you can see, and we're just gonna put it in half again, straighten it out, and that's gonna roll around his neck. So fold it around and roll it, and that's gonna give it some more stability because we'll be able to form it. Roll it, roll it, roll it. And then you're going to squish it with your hand. Make sure your thing's still stuck in there. And squish it. Now we'll leave this to dry overnight because, and make sure you check out your back to make sure that foil is pushed down. But we're going to leave it dry so because the more we play with it, it won't dry. But that's where we're at so far. We put glue up in the hole and we put up our, whether you have regular pipe cleaners or wire or whatever, a little bit of glue, whatever you got, white Elmer school glue or whatever glue, super glue, and stick it up there. And that's what we got so far. So the next thing we'll do when we come back with our next video is we'll maneuver this foil a little bit more, and then this will end up being his arms, and we'll end up cutting some of it probably. And then I'm going to put a part on as his body. I'll wrap around here very thinly, his body, and then his legs. And then we will start with more clay. So it's very simple, very easy, very fun. It's just breaking it down, doing it. And like I said, for now, we kind of just want the glue to adhere. So tomorrow, hopefully, when I go to make my next video with this, the glue will be dry and the pipe cleaner will be in there good. If not, I might have to break out the glue gun, which you can also use too. There's no real rule to what you're doing, but you kind of want it folded in half like this. So, you know, it doesn't matter because we're going to cut these. So these are going to be shorter. So if yours are shorter than mine, it's not a big deal. And we're going to, that's how we're going to do it. So for now, I think we're done with this little guy. Again, look how cool his face came. And once that's dry there, like I said, then I'll play more with the foil around here to get it, you know, closer because we're going to build his neck and all with the clay and go down. And he's going to be a tall piece. But look how cool the face looks. And I can even, like I said, take like a buff color off white or whatever and just take a little teeny bit on my hands or a real dry brush at the end and go over just to brighten up some spots if I wanted to. You know, or if I don't want to, it doesn't matter. It's all in what you like. And if you want them to be pretty, then don't darken them. Leave them white, paint them white, give them pretty color eyes and a pretty color nose and a pretty color mouth and make something, you know, pretty out of it. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing as far as, you know, making him. But I'll show you how to do this and make his body and all out of clay. And then however you choose to go from there is up to you. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you again with our next video, the next installment of what to do next to make our clay doll. Very exciting. So hope you guys have a great day. Remember, you never know. Be kind to each other because you never know what battle somebody else is fighting. And I hope you guys do this along with me because I'd love to see pictures. And I hope if you have any questions, you know, all you have to do is ask. And I will answer them in the next video. So there we are so far. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.